on this thing about like, can anyone be a leader and all that kind of stuff, yeah? It's gonna be funny.
This guy's got someone in mind that he's like, they should not.
Nah. This kind of this comes from even the Killer Mike
Charlemagne thing?
the Killer Mike show that he did, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
On Netflix.
one.
I forgot what it was called, bro. But the Killer Mike thing, yeah. And that particular episode when he went to the school or the kindergarten or something, right?
Yeah.
And he's with these kids, and some of them are like, I want to be astronaut. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be president.
Yeah.
You know, blah, blah, doctor, engineer. And he basically was like, stuff your dreams.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's like, oh, yeah, stuff your dreams, basically, right? So when it comes to this leadership talk and stuff like that, yeah, like, should we tell people that they can be like whoever they want? Like to chase your passions and like, you know, like, or should we always tell people to have something on the side, like, you know, something reasonable, something attainable? Or should we be a strive and chase your passions kind of like, you know?
I mean, that comes down to like who you are.
Yeah, I agree with that because it's like some people are going to be told, you know, chase whatever fulfills you, but they're always going to be like, nah, I want something safe.
Yeah.
Right. And then some people are going to be told, hey, do something safe. And they're always going to be like, I will legit not be happy until I, you know.
But it's the thing, right?
I remember when I was in high school, I used to, like, we were talking about this stuff. And I think I was, like, just immature about it. And I was like, I would rather do a job where I'm 90% dissatisfied if I got paid really high versus a job that I get paid average, but I'm, like, 100% satisfied. Yeah. And now I'm like,
Nah.
No way.
Yeah?
Like, no way. I could never do a job where I'm miserable going in every day.
100%.
'Cause you spend a third of your life at work.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
A lot.
Your whole life, huh?
Yeah,
And you're just
between
doing
the
it for
ages
money?
of 20 and 70,
Yeah.
like, that's 50 years. You're going to spend 8 hours a day almost at work.
I mean, you do get to enjoy the fun parts. Like, you got enough money to travel and all that now. So, I mean, it goes either way.
Yeah, but, like, imagine you're genuinely like, fam, I hate 90% of my job. Like, 90%. Like, the 10% I love is lunch break.
Damn, no.
Stop, bro.
But going back to what you're saying, Daniel, right? I feel
brother.
like, again, it depends on the person, right? So, example,
Talk to me.
if, let's say, there's some jobs out there that's really hard to get. Let's
Yeah.
say that I've been trying to get into the NBA. But damn, why you dying, bro?
Hey, sorry. Carry on.
Settle down now.
Keep going.
But anyway, let's just say I'm a person that let's just say I've been working real hard. Hey man,
What's
Nah,
funny?
keep going. I just picturing the guy in the NBA, bro. Like,
crazy, bro, crazy,
pick him up like,
Bro.
Carlos dunk.
bro, crazy threes.
it's not happening. But yeah, sorry.
Next Clay Thompson or what?
Continue with your
that's
analogy,
not
bro.
that's not the point, right?
Yeah, we know.
So let's say,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but 0.03 or something like that % of people make the NBA,
We'll go with it. Yeah.
which is like less than 1%, of course, right?
Huh?
But let's just say I made the NBA though. Right? Of course, if someone was to come up to me and say, hey,
Yeah.
do you think I should chase my dream? Bro, I've been grinding since I was young, and I was one of those 0.03% to make it. So
tough.
how you gonna? There's no way I'm gonna turn around and say
Don't
have
do
a
this.
have an option
Okay, but
B.
then that-
But for what
really?
reason? Yeah,
So
but-
not
But
have
are
an
you gonna
option
look
B, though?
at where?
because I think that because I'm obviously you give advice based on what do you call it? You give advice based on what you've also gone through.
Yep.
You know that, okay, cool. So if I tried to get into the NBA, that didn't work out at all, and I was like, damn, I should have had a plan B. That's when I would turn around and say, maybe have a plan B. Does that make sense? But if I made it, I'm gonna have the mentality that you can make it if you put in that same hard work as me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So now I think it really depends on your own success to give advice. Does that make sense? So, and that goes with everything, bro.
I think it's worth, like, I think what people always forget is there's a job around their passion that isn't what they imagine, but it's
Still related.
it's still related, right?
yeah.
So, like, one of my friends, right, in like from primary school in Qatar, he was great at football, like soccer,
Yeah.
and like I think he got scouted for certain clubs, and his family moved to Spain and everything, but he never made it to like full men's. And I think like with sports, if you're not in reserves team by 16, 17, 18, like it's not happening.
Yeah.
you
Rap,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So-
everybody.
Yeah, so he went and studied finance and whatnot at like uni in Spain,
Yeah.
and now he's working, or he's been working with like the La Liga, which is like
Yeah.
the football league, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty much like a kid that wanted to play basketball doing accounting for the NBA or something. So you
Yeah,
still get to be so involved with your
Passion.
and everything, right? Which makes your work fun and whatnot. So it's like there's still ways around it. Like do something that is interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm just thinking on it from the side of like, there's people that I know are so focused on their particular dream that they like forget to chase the other like aspects of it, or even forget to have a backup. Like I feel like we kind of need to have a backup in this day and age, because not everybody makes it.
Yeah, like you're still gonna need to make something that so you can put petrol in your car.
But
Yeah.
but this is the thing.
Yeah,
Now
put
it
food on
depends
the
on,
table.
what type of job or what type of career that you're looking for in order for you to say have a backup. Obviously, if it's one of those where less than 10% make it, then okay, you might be like, hey, have a backup. Does that make sense?
Would
Yeah.
you let your daughter date a guy who's like, no, I'm gonna
Chasing
become
his
a
dreams,
rapper?
bro.
Sorry?
He's like, I'm gonna become a rapper, and he does nothing. He's like, I'm just gonna become a rapper.
Yeah, Carlos.
I mean, if he's talented, then why not?
Wait.
I think for me,
What's so bad about
it
that?
all comes down to when you're speaking about dreams and what it is you
Yeah.
want to do and stuff like that. It's about being realistic, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, for one, like looking at your situation. Like if I were to ask, if I were to ask like 5th graders, what do you guys want to be when you're older? Or actually, let's just go younger, like prep or year 1 students, grade 1 students. Like, what do you guys want to be?
Yeah.
And they're all like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a doctor and stuff like that. That's fair enough for
And
someone.
why do so many
to
kids
be
want to
like-
become astronauts?
Oh man.
I don't know.
Space.
Why is it
Space,
a
yeah.
thing?
Bro, you
Space
gotta
is
understand.
Everyone forgets
You go-
about it
Cause-
by year 6.
That is true.
Bro, you
But
gotta
it's
Because we
understand.
realize it's just
Bro.
the moon that you can
At
go to,
prep,
bro.
in grade 1, they watch all these movies about going to the moon.
It's all the cartoons.
And it looks
Yeah.
cool, all right? You know what I
Mickey
mean?
Mouse landing on the moon.
Don't lie, low-key, that is cool. If you
I don't
had
think
the
I'd do
chance
it.
to
Nah,
go
it's
to
kind of
space.
scary,
I
bro.
would-
Yeah.
Nah, trust me,
Yeah.
fam. That's scary.
That'd
That's
be
scary.
pretty
scary,
lit.
fam.
I don't think I'll take an opportunity.
I don't have that personality where it's
Yeah.
like, I want to do.
Yeah, the
but I
moon.
actually jump
What?
in. Yeah, exactly. Man, we got food here, we got water here. I'm
Like,
good.
this is
What you got to do? What you got to do over there, bro? Look around. Wow, no one's there. Wow.
Hey man, you cut off Marwa. Keep going.
Whoa, you did, bro.
You're the one that started this.
Yeah, carry on.
Astronaut talk. Yes, I was saying, I think in that sense, it's fair enough to be like to the kids, you can do it. But it's about also letting them know that it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
Like, not just giving them that fantasy, like, oh yeah, you can do it, stay in school.
Light
and when
work.
like
Become an
literally,
astronaut.
stay in school when you graduate, you'll be able to come an astronaut. Because that's
That's
not
the
true.
who? That's the what? Say that again.
Astronaut.
Okay.
I heard astrology.
I heard astrology, bro. I don't know. Sorry.
said
Yeah.
astronaut.
Do your thing.
And then there comes a point in time when, like, if you're to ask an 18-year-old, or like, what do you want to be?
Oh man,
And
man's just trying to
they
do this
say-
plumbing apprenticeship. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like if we start to realize some of these things. Like, do we think there's no point anymore or something like that in trying to? Or maybe
Yeah.
it comes down to like individual passion.
Passion.
actually.
Yeah, it comes down to passion.
Because not everybody's trying to go to the moon,
That's not
anyways.
even where
No,
we're
I'm just asking a
going
question, but
with,
carry on, dude.
That was so
Hi.
irrelevant.
Oh, man's just
Okay.
bringing an angle, bro.
All right, very good angle.
Which one?
I
Which
was
one is
gonna
it?
say, yeah, if you were to ask someone, like,
Do your thing.
Anyways,
Yes.
Yeah.
if you were to ask someone a few years later, like, let's say they turn 18 or something, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to be a doctor, and then homeboy or homegirl sucks at maths, or they can't do the stuff that doctors need to do,
Yeah.
you're kind of gonna look at them and be like,
That's when you need to tap on the shoulder, man.
yeah, like maybe
works.
look at
Tap on the
something
shoulder,
else,
bro.
I didn't think
But
you'd
yeah, I
make it.
think for me, it's just about being realistic and actually letting them know, like, hey, if this is what you
100%.
want to do, you're gonna have to put in this work. You're going to have to actually go out and do these things.
You know, it was the funniest thing
Right.
in year 12 when there's be like the kids that are like, oh, I want to do this at uni, and you just look at them and like,
Boy.
no, no, you're like, bro, you're not even doing the subject. and then it's like term 3, and they're like, huh?
Bro, you know those people that get invited to classes and talk, leadership. It's like, hey guys, chase your dreams. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, you can do it. And then I want to go to the moon. You could do that.
Yeah.
I want to be a president.
You could do
You
that.
could definitely do NBA. I already see it. All this stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the teacher be like, "Well
Yeah.
done." And then
5'2".
and then they leave. Yeah, that is it.
Splash Brothers.
And then after that, he leaves and we close the door. In your dreams, man.
Honestly, though.
Nah, like, bro, I feel like people do just do it for show sometimes,
Yeah,
bro. Like saying,
definitely.
yes, you can do this, and
Yes.
then they forget to say, hey, you know what? There'll be days you don't
But that's
sleep.
like what you were saying before. You said when you make, like, let's say you made it.
Yeah.
Now
Ah,
you're
yeah,
going,
yeah.
you're
See,
going
now it
to
comes
tell
back to that.
people
Yeah.
that
you
you
can
can
do
do it
this.
too.
Yeah.
All right, man. I hope I get to that
Isn't that-
point. But yeah, I feel like that's it, isn't it? Like, Because
you're-
now you feel like anything's possible because you've done the
Yeah,
impossible.
I mean, don't you think anything is possible for anyone if they do actually put in that work?
I don't know, but I feel like sometimes it comes to
Some-
practicality of the situation.
Some
though.
stuff is also
Definitely.
impossible. Like I could not ever make the NBA. Alright?
I mean,
Like, come on.
I mean, yeah, I don't know, man.
You know, like this.
the best
like
you can
Adam,
do.
what if Adam Silver gives him a good look one day, bro? Like, just,
the
you know what I
The
mean?
one day contract with like the Pelicans or something. I'm
La,
taking.
la.
it.
The
Take
best,
it, yeah.
the best you can do is NBA. No, not even NBA.
What, mascot?
No, no,
Don't
no,
say
no, no, no.
WNBA. You're sad.
He's
bro.
ready for it.
You're sad, man.
Basketball 7:30 every Tuesday night.
Shut the hell up, man.
No, that's not even the one, bro.
You know, I didn't finish with the joke, alright? So that was so unfair.
Basketball 7:30. What are you saying, bro?
Every Tuesday.
No,
night,
every
he's saying-
Tuesday night,
he's
like
saying-
a-
Oh,
he's saying
like
that's
a
all I'll
Sunday
ever get
team?
in my
Like a
life.
Sunday team, bro. I told you I didn't finish with the damn joke. This guy's so quick to
No,
jump
but like,
conclusions.
for example,
Oh,
like
man.
you take a league full of people that are like LeBron and AD and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
these guys.
I'm so sorry, bro. Yeah. Carry on. Let's see this.
I just press that blue one.
What? Which one? Yeah.
No, but for real, like, if that's like the all right, LeBron wouldn't be the average physicality of that league, but
Yeah.
it takes on Klay Thompson. That's the average of the
Yeah.
league, right? It's like, all right, well, I don't fit in there, and chances are I'm never gonna. Like, you look at my genetic makeup, everything, like. Everyone's looking a little vertically challenged,
But bro,
horizontally enhanced.
but obviously,
Oh,
you're saying that now because you don't really like basketball like that.
But I like, all right,
If you did, you'd have been trying since you were a kid.
no, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
So obviously,
yeah.
if this is something you've been thinking about,
no, but
you-
like,
yeah, what you gonna say?
because there would be so many kids out there that are like incredible handles, everything, but it's like,
Still.
fam, you run and somebody is just gonna
Yeah.
smack the ball out your hands.
Yeah,
Like they are
True.
gonna pick you up when you go for a dunk.
I mean, but
Yeah.
this is always the way it's like, if I can't make the NBA, bring it down a level, like bring it down a step lower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Train
you'll
kids.
still be able to get paid.
Train. Yeah.
Train kids.
Yeah,
Yo,
honest.
legit.
That's pretty
like I
fulfilling.
don't even mean about
An
training.
academy, bro.
No, I'm even talking about getting paid to play because
Nah.
you can.
To play where?
Just not in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, you guys
Yeah.
think it's just the NBA get
You
paid
know,
at?
what's Australia's league called?
NBL.
NBL.
Oh, you come to the NBL.
But then
That's what I
again, it's
mean.
like NBA.
Hey,
though,
Lonzo
that's what
Ball's
you
coming
want.
to the NBL.
Is it Lonzo?
Yeah.
Nah, LaMelo. Isn't
What did
it?
you say, Lonzo? Do you know who Lonzo is, bro?
Forgive me.
My guy said, forgive me.
Hey, someone please kick him out of here, bro. This guy said Lonzo, bro. The guy who plays for Pelicans.
I almost believed him.